In market psychology, we have something called anchoring, which think of it as an anchor on a boat. You're on the boat, you throw the anchor in the water. No matter what happens to the tide, no matter what happens to the water, the waves, the boat is going to be in the same spot no matter where you threw the anchor. Same thing with market psychology and the mind. If you strap your mind to the market and you throw the anchor out, if you do not change with the market, you're going to stay stagnant. You're not going to be able to adapt. And you're too busy focusing on where you drop the anchor rather than trying to move around and explore different territories and explore and adapting to new things what the market's telling you. So, anchoring is the process of remaining focused on what happened in the past and not adapting to the changing market. It's basically strapping yourself in and staying in one spot, which is a big no-no with the market. The market is so complex, there's so many different variables, and every day, every week, every month, there's different factors which influence different things of the market itself. So, what people assume and what people teach is that things that have happened in the past will always guarantee what happens in the future. And what I'm trying to tell you here is that it's not true. What happened in the past does not necessarily guarantee that it's going to happen 100% of the time again in the future. With technical analysis, we try to assess what happened in the past to try to assess, future correlations. But people stay completely stagnant and they do not adapt to the market. And that's why they never see consistency. That's why they never improve. And that's why they never take their trading to the next level. The key is adapting like a chameleon with the ever changing market and avoid becoming stagnant. So there's a couple of ways to avoid this. And the first one is through screen time and through experience. There's no better tool to learn than your own screen time and than your own experience. What this is going to do is it's going to make you see different things. It's going to see you see repetitive patterns, things which move the market, see things that all have confluence and common grounds with each other. Like I mentioned, nothing's going to be the same, but we're going to always see similarities and some common ground between different markets in different stages and in different cycles of, the economy. So screen time and experience is your best friend. You are going to learn the most from it. Also, record your trading journal, your wins, your losses, identify your mistakes, and in this journal, write down how the market was. You have to be as objective and as flexible as possible in your journal and in trading the market in real time. Understand that maybe you have to bend a little bit. What you learned last week or what you saw in the market last week is not going to be the same. You have to think outside of the box, think a little critically, and be objective. Don't be like a robot. Don't be, a statue in stone just sitting there waiting for the market to, tell you what to do. You have to be objective. You have to read it. You obviously need common sense, but do not be stagnant. You have to evaluate the context of the market regardless of your feelings. How is volume? Are buyers and sellers, gauging interest? Are we failing to break the highs, failing to break the lows? Where is liquidity? There's a whole bunch of different things, what I mean by context. Regardless of your feelings, the market is going to tell you, and the market is going to have different factors which affect different things on a daily basis. So you have to be able to assess these factors, write it down. What I personally do is every weekend, I look at the setups from the past week. I see what worked this week. I see what I could have done to improve. I see what had the most success, what failed the most for me. Then the following week, I try to use that as a basis and a guideline. And in the first couple of days of that week, if I see some similarities of, the previous week, then I know maybe I'm going to see the same setups or see the same confirmation signals. But right off the bat, if I see different things where something that might have worked last week doesn't work this week, and maybe the market is changing, maybe we're getting more choppy, we're getting lower volume, then maybe I know I have to be flexible, deviate away from what worked for me last week, and try to form and be flexible on changing my rules a little bit and changing my confirmation signals, different things like that. So do not be like a statue, be very flexible. And this last point is very, very important. You have to understand that the market is the storyteller. Every single day, it's going to tell you a different story. It's going to read you a new page, a new chapter. And us as traders, our goal is to read and comprehend what the market is telling us. We have to comprehend the new chapter of the story every day, every week, and every month. In books, every chapter is going to be different. Same thing with trading. Every week, every month, every year is going to be different. What worked back in, 2000s or the early 90s with support and resistance still works to this day. It's still relevant, but it's not really advanced with technology. It's in every trading book. Every trader knows it. So the market has adapted to that. The market has understood, support and resistance and things that have worked in the past and has adapted to it as more people and more traders use those tools. So you have to comprehend. There's no way of doing this. There's no way of basically reading the market and comprehending it without having your own skin in the game, without having experience, and without having screen time. It's not something you could learn from a book. It's not something that anyone is ever going to explain to you. It's using your own contextual analysis in your brain and relating it, comparing it to the market, learning from it, journaling it, and attaching it and basically combining different things to put the pieces together and to make an overall story or let's say movie out of it.